Stupid AI. AI. Technology. What can we say? This is what we want. This is what the world has come to. We want it fast. We want to be able to go. And I'm not coming against anybody, so please don't ever think I am. But I'm just using things for an example. The things that I have witnessed myself. You know, Lunchtime when we're in a hurry, we go through a fast food restaurant. We wait in a line there. We pull into Starbucks. How many of you would rather go inside and put up with nonsense than to wait in them ridiculous lines? Especially now, it's becoming so chaos that these McDonald's and these places are opening two lines. It's quick, 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 quick. So naturally, now we got to have Gemini in the AI world directing things for us. Uh, let me see if I can put this in a nice, polite way. I don't need Gemini doing anything for me. I don't trust it. I don't trust technology. I don't trust the government. And I'm not saying any particular person in general, but what I am saying is this. If we put all of our trust in what we think man can or can't do, we're going to fail. It's just going to fail. There's no other way around it. And when you look at life and go, where are we? What is God expecting and what is God not expecting out of us? Well, we know when God sent his son to the earth, we know this now. It's becoming a thing of the past. You think about this blood moon coming tomorrow. You think about all the talk about the end of September, the week of the holy festivals and all that stuff. Is this just another way of saying that this could be it? My thing is, again, I go on this saying, if you're going to keep asking yourself if you're ready, you're not ready. If you're going to keep wondering, or if you're going to keep going on different websites and asking people and doing all these things, you're not ready. You're not. There's no way. Or if you spend more time looking to see when the Antichrist is, I know they announced the Antichrist. People are saying it. I've been talking about it since 2014. Just like I've been talking about 9/11. We're getting ready to come up on that again. My thing is, I don't see how people can even stop in remembrance of something that we did. But so now you got to look at that. We are the most upside down country I think that I can even think of right now, because there's so much going on. Yeah, we got nations rights against nations. I was watching a program and they were talking about Kirk Cameron and stuff and his show and stuff like that, and which is he's very interesting, to listen to. I always like Kirk Cameron and Growing Pains and the Left Behind series. And somebody says, if you go and look at your Left Behind series that you were involved with, it's kind of what happened in there is happening. And again, we've talked about this. We've been on there, and movies show us what we get accustomed to. We look at the blood moon, but also in the realm of Jesus saying, watch the skies, they shall reveal. But you also look in the demonic realm. The blood of anything is a mockery of Christ, first of all. Second of all, it's the blood is the most powerful thing in the demonic realm. You may say, Nelson, that's crazy. I don't believe that. Well, yeah, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't drink it. If it wasn't, they wouldn't make you sign in blood. All those movies that you see that you do, just a little poke, you just got to sign in blood. It's real, people. I mean, so many people come against this, saying, well, according to the Bible, blasphemy. No, when you willingly take the mark of the beast, you're willingly at that point signing your name in blood to Lucifer. What makes you think that you're not going to be removed from the book of life? I mean, I don't know how else to say it. That's like blasphemy in itself. You may say, Nelson, no, I disagree. Well, then disagree. But I guarantee you, when you're here, and your family members or anybody that you know that believe it's gone, I don't want to hear about the stupid alien stuff because it's ridiculous. There's more and more of these videos, these shorts popping up with these aliens. It shows this one humongous thing, like 7 foot tall thing wrapped around this old lady, and she was claiming to be it was her friend. People, if we can have Hollywood graphics the way they are, and we can have all this, you young generations, even some of the old generation now know how to crop pictures. You know how to take a sentence, a conversation off of your text messages and pull off what you want and put it in there and send it. First of all, you know that that's not true. We shouldn't be doing that. Second of all, you should never be cropping your pictures to make you look like something else, because now you're playing God. Because when somebody finally does see you on these match sites and all this stuff, and they finally see you, then you wonder why it's a disappointment. Because first of all, we got to be attractive to something, okay? Are we attractive to the looks? That's your first inner thing going, wow, you know, that person's beautiful. Wow, that person's handsome. And it brings you into that connection. Problem is, if you're under just a sexual thing of it, it's only going to be short term lived. And I mean that. Because reason being, as you're married for a long periods of times, you notice that fire of that seems to go away for whatever reasons. Shouldn't. It honestly shouldn't, because that is one of the highest aromas that God receives, is that intimacy with man and wife. It's also a power, a deep power in this is because it keeps Satan out, because you no longer, because your body wants. It's like that candy bar. It wants. No, I'm not doing this thing on that. But I'm just saying, walk with me here for a minute. Because today's the day I get back on the roller coaster, and we're going to move this sucker. You have to understand something here. You got to understand this. Everything Satan uses, everything God gets for his glory in the end. God allows things to happen. First of all, the Bible says we are capable. Every trial we go through, we have been prepared for it. So we can overcome it. It's simple. Jesus, get me out of here. Jesus, help me. Jesus, show me the open door. Just Jesus. But you look how powerful his blood is. That's why the demonic realm does everything in blood. So this dream I had last night, I don't remember all of it. That's why, I always say the dreams, I just remember bits and parts of it. The visions, it's like I'm doing it. I mean, I'm right there. But I do remember a lot of what I dreamt last night. I got up and used the restroom 3 times, and each time I went back to sleep, I started having it. It was like I paused the dream and went right back to it. So you have to think about this. Halloween's right around the corner. We got a blood moon coming. We know full moons, it changes people's. It's just like people get really weird to me on the full moons. It's always been like that from a child. It's always been like that. But you think about the blood moon, it's. I got a feeling we're going to hear a lot of stuff going on. We're going to hear a lot of things happen. You're probably most likely going to hear a lot of sirens. You're probably going to hear a lot of chaos, because that's what it does to people. We're talking an hour and a half of this blood moon. You're also talking about demons that lust after blood, and it looks like blood. It's no different than watching the Twilight and these vampire movies that they would come out, and even in the sacrificing of things, everything was done under certain style moons. Enough said on that, because so many people. And the other thing is, I don't like to give a whole lot of information on some of the stuff, because then you got these young kids going out here, or even some adults, and all these people trying to do it. But let me tell you right now, you don't even know what you're getting into. There's so many people that's dressed in the gothic look. All you're doing is saying, Satan, here I am. Especially you females. Satan, here I am, Satan. Here I am. I'm your mistress. If you think I'm kidding, I'm not. I don't care what skin color you are. They have no preference. They have no preference over anything. If you think I'm kidding, this is why we have all this transgender stuff going on. This is why we have all this confusing. This is why we want no identities. This is why, because you know why? Because many demons don't have that identity. Many demons are just demons. Then you got the seed planters, as I call them, so that's crazy. I mean, how can a demon do that and impregnate somebody? Well, then how did God put Jesus in Mary? It happened. Or we might as well just turn this video off, put these books away, and let's just get into reality here. You know, your Kool-Aid is either going to be 2 packages of Kool-Aid and some sugar, or if you're going to try to skimp it, once you put the sugar in there, dump that out and add water to one of them, and serve the good Kool-Aid at first, and then give them the crappy stuff later. Instead of the wedding feast, they serve that. He goes, most people serve the good stuff first, and as they become drunken, they serve the second best, basically. We're so busy, we don't even know what anybody's doing. You know, you think about these recalls, you think about food, you know, and the more I think about that rabbi sitting there saying that these islands and all this stuff, they were taking body parts and grinding this stuff up and mixing it with beef and putting it in there. Now, every time I see this 80-20, I'm thinking, how much is that is beef and how much is it is people? I don't know if it's true, but I mean, this rabbi was actually going out and calling out McDonald's. They were one of the biggest purchaser of this type of meat. That means if this is true, literally true, can you imagine the lawsuits? It would be ridiculous. I don't know. But anyways, I can go all day, not one single message, all day. Every time I start these videos, that thing does not stop up there. And by the way, I did turn the comments on. I don't know why. If anybody is commenting, I seen on the last one somebody did comment, but they're on. I don't know why it's not working. But maybe nobody commented. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But so I basically can see now how many people's on the comments. So just so you guys know. But here's the incredible thing about this. The return of Christ, we know, is coming. We look at the blood moons. We look at the signs and the wonders of the skies. We look at all these things that are taking place. We look at how laid back we are. We look at what we're settling for. We look at where today is bringing us. Prayer is hardly ever in anybody's lifestyle anymore. The going into watered down churches isn't no good for us. We wouldn't know spiritual warfare. If a demon came up to you right now, you wouldn't know how to get rid of it. You would probably panic and try to run. Well, good luck. They ran in the scary movies. Where does that get them? Out in the middle of the woods. You run all places. You run into the middle of the woods. It's kind of like that commercial. I think it was an insurance company commercial. And you got them kids that were scared. But they, instead of getting in the running car, I know, let's run into that building with all the chainsaws. That's about how ridiculous it is. And people laugh about it, laugh it off and go on. But see, they're doing so much stuff in front of us that we're not paying attention. I don't really care what this world does. I don't care what the Devil's Playground's doing, and I don't care who's playing on it. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, at this point, I'm worried about this temple. I don't care what Walmart thinks they can do. I don't care what these doctors think they can do. I can sit and listen to them telling me all night and day, well, it's because of this. This is why they're fighting against this. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because I put my trust in God. I put my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. I let his blood cover me. No matter what. You ever hear that saying? It might show some age, sticks and stones might break my bones, my names will never hurt me. Not necessarily all the time, but stuff does hurt us. But if we got the power of Jesus and we got that authority under Jesus, them sticks and stones ain't going to hurt us. How many of you have been beaten by a tongue that you go, my gosh, I'd rather had somebody walk up and just bust me in the head with a rock and have it done? Exaggeration, but I mean, it could. I mean, I don't know what some people think, nor why I understand why things happen the way they happen. God has a purpose, and he exposes it. If we're not willing to look at it, your kids have probably been walking by you for many years now. The older they get, the more it shows. The more it shows, the rudeness and the split personality, the anger. I mean, you could go down the list. Not disobedience, not doing what you've asked them to do. All these things are demonic, people. All those things I just named, each one comes with a different demon. And then you wonder why your households and stuff are upside down. Then you wonder why that you don't follow Jesus or God, but yet you sit there in a tragedy. God, help me. Help me, God. After you just went out the night before and partied and did all kinds of crazy things, why don't you go ask Satan to help you? Why do we go from evil to ask God? What makes you think God owes anything to you? Go ask your master. He loves to give temporary gifts. He loves to give you gifts that's going to burden you down. I really want this car. I'm going to go get it. I deserve it. I just got a raise. You ever notice every time you deserve this car or this whatever you're going to go on, you just got a raise. Doesn't matter how much it is, but do you see where it links together? We go in there complaining every day about our vehicles. We complain every day about our households. We complain every day about our jobs, our lives. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't the picket fence, because you're not satisfied. You're never going to be satisfied without the power and the was calm with anything. Look at me today. The more I go through life, I want real people in my life. And lately, I haven't really been talking to anybody. I come across the phone number the other day. It was on a text message. I mean, not a text message. I was thinking about that. Sorry. The email. And I'll be darned if and I started thinking, well, wait a minute, is this the same person? Because she was talking about her son that is upset with God. Is this the same person that I was talking to not too long ago? And I sent him a message. I haven't really heard back from him, talking about churches and stuff like that. And my thing is, what's important to you, it's going to be important to you. What's important to me is consistent. I don't want to see the back and forthness. I messed up. Okay, well, that's great. But give me 1 second. I think I'm getting a sore throat. I'm going to have to take the lid off so I don't slurp like that. Hopefully it doesn't bother anybody else, but it bothers me, and that's never mind, because that's going to, well, gosh, Nelson, what's wrong with you? I'll tell you what's wrong with me. The devil's playground is wrong with me. I'll tell you what's wrong with me. All these guys out here and these women are laying down with people after people after people, and they're getting more and more pregnancies, and more men aren't stepping up. And women, I blame you too, because if you know the man you're laying down with got 5 other kids and you have not seen him doing anything with them, what do you think he's going to do with you? Think about it. We got to regroup somewhere. Somewhere down the line, you got to go, where is Jesus going to be enough in your life? Because no matter what you do, something is going to fail. Somewhere. Failure helps growth. I've been on here confessing so many things over the last years. It's incredible how we look at life and go, well, I would never do that. Don't. Hold your burdens. Hold your grudge. Hold your one eye for eye, tooth in the tooth for the tooth thing there, and hold the anger against someone. If they owe me an apology, let me tell you right now, they're never going to give you one. Because while you're sitting there in this grudge and all this weight laid down on your shoulders, you might cross them and go, look at them over there. I cannot believe those three that talk to me is talking to her still, or I can't believe those three guys, man, my dudes over there talking to him. They should be on my side. Now they're talking to him. You can't, first of all, you can't expect somebody to choose. Second, did I say second of all or first? I don't know. But either way, second, if you don't learn to forgive and let that weight go, you see they're happy. Satan loves to make your life miserable, but you let it. You let it. You make your life miserable because it's always been like that. The popular girls in school, the cheerleaders, the football players, the quarterback. Everybody wanted to be a quarterback. Nobody. Can you imagine? I think what is there? 10 players on the field or 11? I always get that mixed up. But can you imagine? Let's just say 10. 10 quarterbacks out there. Who's going to snap the ball? Who's going to defend him? Who's going to run? Where's the wide receivers? Where's the tight end? Can you imagine all this? It would be a nightmare. The ball would just sit on the ground. That would be the most funnest game in the world to watch, wouldn't it? How many would watch it? Yeah. How many turn channels? How many that listens to stuff and then leaves? Boring, I was told. Your shows are boring anymore. Okay. That's good. At least you're honest. I don't watch your stuff anymore because you repeat the same things. I don't like how the fact that you put your family down. I'm not putting my family down. Show me any video where I put my family down. Show me any video that I say I disguise my family. I wouldn't go out of my way these days because I live under this. Lord, Lord, your mother and your brother is here. Who is my mother and who is my brother? Thou who does the will of my Father. I live by that. I don't expect people to be in my life. See, I don't. Even if Darlene says, "Hey, I can't put up with your ways," you're thinking, I just can't do it anymore. I know what she's been through in this last months. We're coming up on a year, people. Never once did I take her out of the equation of saying, what she's got to go through. Now, me on the other hand, I think I'm made for that type of stuff. I will do and do and do whether I want to do it or not, but I do it cheerfully. Otherwise, I don't do it. Now, there's a difference. I do it, want to do it, or I won't do it. Many nights I didn't want to go down to my dad's house not because I didn't want to go down and help him. The fact that I just got tired because I knew that anger in me was starting to come back to one day I was going to go to blows back with him. I would rather die going to blows against him than die by the hand of him. At least I went out swinging. That's the thoughts I started having. You hit me one more time. One more time, because I know this out of boxing. If I'm able to take those punches, I'm able to deliver it. You may say, Nelson, that's crazy. Oh, no. When you train hard. It's not, I'm going to go to the gym tonight, honey. I'm going to be gone about a half hour. I'm going to be there for about an hour, 2 hours. I'm going to be, no. You live, eat, sleep. You better have nothing in your life because that's all that matters. And if you are just going to the gym or something, I'm not saying that everything's got to be revolved around your family. I'm not saying that. But everything needs to be revolved around God, is what I'm saying. Some of you may be sitting here right now going, man, this is all over the place. Good. Because this is the stirring of the pot, Jesus says. Stirring of the pot. Because you're so used to following a recipe, your recipe isn't working. I told you guys, all the years, 53, far back as I can go, I've never, ever, ever had a depression problem. I do now. Them pills that they give me, they ain't doing nothing. I mean, it literally gets to a point that it starts, I got to fight the demons, the thoughts of the whisperings. I see more and more stuff out windows now. I see more and more people that the face changers and stuff, what you call the shape changers, the branch walkers and all that crap. Call it what you want. It's the same demon. They're the same. You know, you look at those videos where you see the dog sitting up there and it looks like a human, or you see the one where they're running down the hallway and it slides and the lady slides and all of a sudden you see a black dog. You see these ghost videos, you see all these, the Annabelle stuff and, you know, Raggedy Ann and this and that. If somebody asked me truly, and I don't know, I am going to look it up and I'm going to pray before I look it up because the last thing I want is that nightmare. And when I say a nightmare, I mean, it's a freaking nightmare. I mean, unless you've ever watched stuff move like that and actually seen stuff happen, look, I'm getting goosebumps now even talking about it. Not that you can see it, but let me tell you, when you play around with the spiritual the spiritual realm, not warfare, the spiritual realm, and you mock it, because that's what they're doing. See, these demons are loving this right now. They're loving the fact that you're putting all these videos out there, first of all, because they love fear. Why? Because we fear God. When we fear God, because we shouldn't even really, I'm trying to put this in a way that it's going to make sense without somebody going to discredit, or, and it's not even about discrediting me. I don't even care. But what I'm saying is, I don't want God to be seen in a way that he shouldn't be seen, I guess. But I'm just going to say it. We shouldn't even be thinking with God's fear. If that's what keeps you on the straight and narrow path, then by all means, whatever it takes. But you think about it. I think of God's pain. I think of God crying because Nelson decided to go play in the devil's playground. Nelson decided that I was going to go do wicked. Nelson decided that I was going to do this. Well, as I'm taking, Nelson decided I was going to do wicked. Nelson decided I'm going to go get drunk. Nelson decided I was going to go and get in a fight tonight. Nelson decided I was going to go wreak havoc on everybody that crossed my path. Notice what I'm doing? I'm descending down and out. Down and out. Instead of descending up, up, up. There is no plateau. You're just descending up. God did not put me in hell. Satan did not put me in hell. Lucifer did not put me in hell. The demons did not put me in hell. The fallen angels didn't put me there. I tell you what, the only thing they did, they provided the right people. I don't even know how I become friends with half these people, to be honest with you. These people I used to sit and party with, I'm talking people from 8 o'clock at night till 3 or 4 o'clock until people are just falling over, passed out. And and sometimes I would kick them and be like, you bunch of lightweights, get up. You have no clue of what's going on because we're not watching what's going on. We become broken to a point where we can't even find our way back sometimes. And Jesus is on that pathway and he has to stop. Hold on. I don't want to use black for Jesus. It's darkness. Jesus ain't darkness. Jesus is the light. Be a lifesaver. Okay. I'm a security guard. What are you doing? No, just kidding. I was a security guard. Though. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus, I need you. Okay. Thanks, Jesus. Oh, look at that. The vacancy sign. Oh, well, hey, guys. Remember when I got casted out? The vacancy sign's back. Okay, I'm coming with you. Okay, let's go. So the only way I can describe what happens when you allow evil back in your life. Every time, Nelson, I just fell off the wagon. No, you didn't. You never got you never got on the wagon to fall off it, my friends. Take a fool's advice. I was honest when I went into the alcohol program and stuff. I told the judge, and his exact words, well, at least you're being honest with me. I said, even when I went in there, hi, my name's George, and I'm an alcoholic. I've been an alcoholic. And they look at me, and I said, I'm not saying any of that. Nowhere in any of this agreement did I say I was going to come in here every night and tell you people this. Because, first of all, I don't need to tell you I'm an alcoholic to be sitting here. And I'm not an alcoholic. I can stop drinking anytime I want, and I could. And I still can. My thing is this. What does it do for you? Degrades you. Keeps that thought in your head. Well, some people it helps. I don't see how. I really don't. I really think the program is ridiculous. I don't know how many people that end up, it's ridiculous. If you're strong enough, it will help you. I know so many people went into these drug rehabs. As soon as they got out, they got hooked into the wrong place. But if you break the rules, you're out. Okay. So they called me one night. I was at my sister's. She said, yeah, he's here. You know, before that silly. And I get on the phone. They said, you didn't show up tonight. Why? I said, because I've been drinking. Well, you're not supposed to be. I told the judge I wasn't going to quit drinking. I told you I wasn't going to quit drinking. I told everybody in that room I wasn't going to quit. Just because you forced me to do something doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I have a right to do whatever I want to do, no matter what the outcome is. Murder, I go to prison, maybe life sentence, maybe a death penalty. You can't kill me. You can't kill me. I'm going to a place that you're not going to die. I'm going to be tortured, but I'm not dying. I'm dying to this world. I'm already dead to this world. Because we see what we want to see. We hear what we want to hear. We hang out with people like ourselves. I wonder how many people are sitting there right now thinking about that, going, my gosh, I never really realized that. Or maybe you have, but you just don't care because you get along with yourself. Do you ever argue with yourself? Do you ever get up in the morning and you're just mad and you go and yell at yourself in the mirror? I told people to do this plenty of times. When you're in an argument with somebody, go in there and start, even though you're yelling at them, but go look in the mirror and look at your expressions. When you can see your expressions and you can pick apart what your spouse is or your children or somebody else, but when you can see your own expressions, you're not so willing to point fingers. My brother, Brandon, how you doing, buddy? I've been praying for you. Really, I have. I mean, I don't sleep a whole lot, so I pray a whole lot, and it's nothing personal. I haven't been really talking to anybody. I just kind of shut the world down right now, and I'm just focused on this next step and trying to get healed myself. And um, but I was thinking about. It's funny that I just happened to see you pop up. I was thinking about you last night. I went to get out of the couch and I couldn't stand. It's like my legs were like trembling really bad, and I I debated whether if I ever seen a comment from you anymore, if I would even tell you, but I'm going to tell you. I went into like sobbing tears, like hyperventilating, crying, and I just went to the Lord in prayer, and I felt like I failed. I felt like I failed because even though I know you got a free will and I know you slid pretty bad this time. I mean, this is to the point that it could have wrecked your whole life, man. I mean, but God loves you and he's giving you this chance. And I just thought about those times when I was going to take calls and something else come up and I'm tired and you know, I'm doing everything just to focus in life. I'm doing everything to get through the day. And then I sat there last night just praying over you. And I heard the Lord said that sometimes the sheep has to go out into the storm before they realize what's important. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. Then he says sometimes they got to cut the people away, clean their own garden. I can't do it all the time for them. They have to take matters into their own hands. So I started thinking about that. And I was thinking about people that I remember the time that Paul, and Jesus and I was in a boat. And I watched all these ropes dangle over there like a fishing net ropes with that they throw the net over. And I was watching and Paul started cutting the ropes. Here, that's my child. You want me to cut my child out of my life? I mean, that's crazy. Lord, why are you letting him do this? Never a word. Went to the next. Some of the people I knew for years. Clip, 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 clip. And then all of a sudden I seen the boat tilting. Well, wait a minute. If we're going to keep cutting from this side, we need to get over here and do something here because we're about to fall in the water. I'm panicking. I already know I'm not going to die. Jesus, first of all, is there. When Peter took his eyes off the Lord, he sank. When we take our eyes off the Lord and we put our eyes on man, we are sinking. Quicksand isn't quick until you move. Then it traps you. When it gets to your chest, you're going to panic even more because the pressure's starting to push and you're trying to breathe harder and you're sinking harder because your body's still moving. Sometimes we hit that bottom so freaking hard. That's the wake up. I told you about the boxing days when I used to get in there and fight and I'd get in there and box. And when I get to that knockout phase, how many of you went to stand up and you thought you were going to pass out and you're just like doing everything not to pass out because you don't want to fall on the floor? It's the same concept. There was no high on this earth. There was no drugs, no alcohol, nothing I could physically take. There was no cliff I could cliff dive off of. There was no zip lines before zip lines existed that we could go across. There was no ravine that we wouldn't take our bikes and jump across. There was no thrill in this world, and I truly mean this. And I'm not saying to somebody to go do this because it's stupid. You're going to end up with a cracked up nose and everything else with you. I'm just telling you this. That is the most intense. See, with drugs, you got to keep taking something because you lose that first high. You ever notice, you hear people say, oh, I took that drug and I got this great high. It's called chasing the high. You're never going to get there. It's like chasing the demons. Or are they chasing you? Are you running backwards? That's what's happening. You're running backwards. You're not looking behind you because you're looking at what's coming at you. You look at them demons that are surrounding you because in most of those are people you know. Because most of those people only have their hands out because you're providing. You look at these guys that get these women trapped into this lifestyle of sex trafficking, drugs. They could be their own boyfriend. Come on, just sleep with him. He's going to provide. And next thing you know, they're getting them hooked on it because then he don't have to convince her no more. He basically is pimping out his own girl, his own wife. It don't matter. But it matters to the girl. The girl, I'm mad at you too because you should never agree to it. Because if that man is willing to do that to you, cut it. I don't care if you're married to it or not. Don't you think God would forgive something like that? If he can't forgive you for that, then I'm a liar. Because he forgiven me. There's things I'd never even told you guys. There's things in that darkness of dark that you probably would never listen to me again. But some of you probably would because I think this is why churches don't want guys like me to walk in there. This is why Satan don't want me to walk in there. This is why he shuts those pastors down so quick. Because guys like me that walk in there to tell exactly the power of God and the power of Jesus. There is nothing nobody can sit here and say right now that I have not lived. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not boasting. I'm just giving you an example here. I'm just giving you how powerful a single drop of Jesus' blood. Every day I pay attention where that drop of blood is coming down my face and how it's running down my neck. And I just feel it. I feel it intertwining with my body. I feel it going down my body. When it gets to my foot, I'm quickly reaching down. Hold, I got to stop. Pick it up. Put it right back on the top of my head. I put it right in the middle as much as I can and let it fall again. If it's falling this way, then I'm feeling it. And sometimes you'll even see me on here. I wonder how many people actually noticed it. Sometimes you'll see me going like this because I'm feeling the drop. I want to know how far it's traveled because I am not wasting that drop of blood. That drop of blood is the only thing that keeps me going. The power and authority of blood, people, that's what this has been about. The bloodshed of Christ. But if we allow demonic to bring that bloodshed into its realm, if you think blood ain't got power, these sick demons, why do you think they drink it? Why do you think if you go back to my health testimony and I said, sir, how come you're never allowed in the basement? Nor are you ever allowed to drink of the blood. That made me mad. I started learning potions even more because I was going to overcome this. I was going to become so powerful, they would have had to listen to me. Tell me that ain't the dumbest of all dumb things you have ever heard in your life. It truly is dumb. It's stupid to even think that way. But when you're mixed up in the world, you're mixed up in your mind, and you're mixed up with that that high of whatever it is in your life is overcoming you. Yes, I'm sad for a lot of people, but I realize I didn't fail. I truly did not fail. I've done all I can do. I pray. It's time for us to sometimes help someone not carry the cross for a minute. I believe in God's will. I pray God's will over everything. I pray God's will over these schools. I pray God's will over these churches. I pray God's will over this day. I pray God's will over these nations. Lord, Father, whatever is going on today in this world, let your will be done. Whatever it takes to bring the return of your Son, Jesus Christ, to this earth, to stand up on them clouds and for you to open that book of life and call out those names so the Lord can receive his sheep. Because he says, my sheep are the ones that the Father has given me. Now we got to understand that. Hold on, Brandon. I'm going to read some of your comments in a minute. Give me a second. We got to understand something here. We are responsible for ourselves. We are responsible to make sure that we are walking that straight and narrow path. Let me draw something real quick. Now, I'm not the artist of all artists, but I just want to show you something that God, the Father, showed me once. I should have probably left it on the cardboard before I tore it off. That would be common sense. No, so you don't have common sense? I don't think so. Not anymore. I really don't. I mean, my brain is like scrambled eggs at times. But okay, here we go. What? And I'm going to explain this to you. Let's look at this. Looks like a tornado. Maybe you can't see me. I should have made it a little bit darker. But I want you, if you could kind of look at it from this angle, see how it goes narrow to wide, but then you flip it and it goes narrow to wide that way, but this way it goes wide. You're wide to the narrow towards me. The straight and narrow pathway. Stay on it. Isn't that funny how we look at it from where what you're looking at is the wide. But if you're looking at that from God's way, God's looking at it from the narrow part to the wide. Because there is no closeness to God. That narrow pathway becomes narrow from our width out here, heaven, where we come from, and all this, and it narrows down. That's why it becomes a straight and narrow pathway. You know why it becomes straight and narrow? Because we make it that way. We walk down there, and so many people get lost in that devil's playground. This big open area right here, let me darken it up a little bit. Markers are clear over there, so never mind. Nobody's thought you were going to have art class today, huh? Yeah. How's that? Is that better? Okay, now think about it. You're looking at it here. This would be you walking toward that straight, narrow path. But look how wide open it is. Now, if you flip it, now you're looking at it from God's eye. But look how narrow that is to how wide it gets. See, this is where God has us. God doesn't see us in this little tiny space, but we got to go from this big space where God wants all people. When you leave this place and you're left, that little straight and narrow pathway, people, you ain't never going to travel. You know why? Because you're walking straight into hell. See, God sees the big picture of it. But it's sad that the Bible has to speak of a straight and narrow pathway. You may say, well, I don't, I think that's maybe not accurate there. Nothing. I think you're just using, no, I don't know. Maybe you can use, maybe I'm stretching it a little bit here. I'm not coming against anybody. I just think it's ridiculous how people think sometimes we're okay to, it's okay. Good. Because I'm with you, brother. I'm telling you, I have not. And sometimes I gotta, sometimes sometimes I wish everybody could at least see hell. If not heaven, at least hell. And I say that because I do pray. I do pray that the hell gets opened up to where all people on this earth, all people can see it. You know why I don't pray for heaven? Because why? Why would I want to pray for something you can see glory that you know glory is glory? If I took you in there and I put your four favorite cars in a row and lined up all four of those cars and said you may pick whatever car you want, you're going to have a heck of a time picking, wouldn't you? But if I went and got a car out of the junkyard that's all smashed up, tires are off of it, went and got another one that the engine's out, but the car is beautiful. These are all the same cars. And then I went and got another one that just some scratches on it, but then I got the Lamborghini that you've been wanting all your life. The same one as the other three. Which one out of the four are you going to choose? Now, I know you can't physically answer, but you can in the comment, but I'm just saying. If you had to choose from one being perfect all the way to four, the junkyard one. Most likely everybody's going to, if they had to do anything, they'd put a one. I'm just keeping it real with you. Notice I'm pausing. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but I'm just telling you that. But think about this. Think about this for a split moment. What if number one was no good for us? What if we left the first option, the junkyard car, that was our best option, but we couldn't see it? See, that's what happens when you get lost in that dark realm. See, we are that junkyard car to God. We are full of sin. We are full of hatred. We are full of pain and suffering. But let me tell you right now, let me tell you right now, there is nobody shed more pain, more suffering, more tears in this whole entire creation than Jesus. Nobody. It's impossible. Nobody. Nobody. I can guarantee you that. Faz 40. Hi, Nelson. Hope you are well by his grace. Well, thank you. I don't think I've ever seen you on here before. If you have been on here, I do apologize because a lot of it I turn off on days that I just want to focus on things. And today I'm kind of like all over the place. But I think that's what turns a lot of people on here. I think they really like the different directions because it gets their mind to really think. You know, Brandon, you're one of them guys. You're one of them guys that when you rise up, and I mean truly rise up, and dust off the dust, and you see that Jesus, first of all, never stopped helping you carry that cross. And you look way down the bottom of that cross, and as I'm washing you off the dust off you, you're going to realize you was never alone. See, I can't let go of that cross. I can't let go of that cross until you're well. Well, I tell you, my shoulder's starting to bleed a lot from holding this thing. It gets heavy. Because when you let go of that cross, and Jesus is busy, so that means I got to balance that cross across the back of me, the full thing. So it gets tipsy-topsy, because it's, let me do it this way. Because you got the piece that goes across where they put your hands at. So it gets tipsy-topsy. And I'm not in the best shape anymore. Every night when I lay down, I lay the cross down and I lay on it. I would do this for anybody. Because I'm praying for your spirit and your soul. I'm praying for your free will. I'm praying for you to rise up. So I got to keep carrying that cross. Even though my back's hurting, I'm bleeding, there's blisters all over me, there's splinters getting in me, I'm going to keep doing it. So I want every time anybody, no matter who it is, Brandon, it could be Susan, it could be whoever. I'm just George, Janet, Emily, Savannah. I can name off 1,000 names so somebody don't think I'm leaving them out or something. I truly mean this. I want you to think about every time you go to jump out of the boat. I want you to take a step and just look back. But I want you to see Jesus' back first. I want you to see the whips and what he went through. And then when you look down that cross, don't fall, Marker. And when you look down that cross, all the way down here, because you're looking just like I am down it. When you look all the way down that cross, I'm still there. Unfortunately, the pain hurts. You never know who you hurt when you sin. And this is my best way of explaining how we're hurting Jesus when we sin. And I'm telling you right now, there's days I wake up just crying because of what I've done to him. I don't deserve his mercy. I don't deserve his forgiveness. And I sure do not deserve a spot in heaven. But I am grateful that every word of that Bible I read throughout the day, whether it's nighttime, morning time, afternoon time, whenever I look into it, all I can see is Jesus, how much he loves us and how much God loved us so much. John 3:16. I mean, it's one of the biggest quoted things, but we only quote. So God so loved the world, he begat his only begotten Son. For whoever shall believe in him shall have eternal life. Most people just stop at that because that's our devotion to him. Small. The Lord said, if you keep your mind and your heart together, you love because God sent him out of love. You love your children. If you have children, you love your parents. If you have parents still alive, you love your siblings. If you still have them, you love your friends. Christmas time, you want to go get the best gift. Or birthdays, you want to try to get them the best gift ever. If you can love like that, you got to love yourself. You have a hard time finding love for Jesus, true love, if you can't love your neighbor. You got to love. Love, when you keep that heart and that mind, which is Jesus speaking to us, together, fused together as one, how are you going to sin? Somebody asked me once, why did you start drinking so much tea? And I was working, and they said, my God, Nelson, you drank about 3 gallons of tea. We're outside. The sugar isn't good for you. And I was just like, and I was still cocky, beyond cocky, if anybody can imagine that, huh? I said, what difference does it make to you what I drink? Just do your job. That's all I care. Do your job. Well, I'm just saying, Nelson, you can dehydrate and stuff. Have I dehydrated yet? No. But listen to this now. That's when I was leaving alcohol. So I'd shake up the tea and it would leave that foam. I'd dump it in my glass and I'd drink it. To me, it was beer. Then I started drinking soda to get rid of the tea. That wasn't doing any good because too much soda. Then I started drinking Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet whatever. Okay, at least I'm not getting all the calories. What I'm trying to say is no matter what you do, there's something that is not good for you. No matter what you do in this world, you're always doing something wrong. It's exhausting. That's why I said I don't live here. I don't live in this world. I live in the kingdom. I'm just here visiting. Call me an alien, I don't care. If they come up to me and said, we need to deport you, I'd be like, how are you getting me to heaven then? Just inject me real quick. Go ahead. Stick it in the neck. I'm out. Done. Never going to breathe again. Thank you very much. Let me shake your hand. Here, give me the needle. I'll do it myself. Better yet, I don't know, if you kill yourself, you're not going to heaven. People say that left and right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Then I had people ask me, why did God spare you? But he didn't spare my child, or didn't spare my family, didn't do this. Why do people get cancer? And guys like you that want to live recklessly and drive and smash your cars up and do all this. Why do you deserve to walk? Why do you deserve to see? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ask to be the way I was. Why does people get to grow up in Christian homes? Why does people get to grow up in happiness? Why does people have families that get together at the holidays? Why does people live this hallmark life and you sit there in your misery of yourself? You want to know how Satan keeps feeding the fire? Those are the reasons right there. Because you are so judgmental. You put your judgmental seat above Lucifer's, which Lucifer's trying to get above God. So you got to come down this ladder here to reality, what you do to people. Suicide is because of people keep coming against somebody. Depression. I'm no good. I'm never going to amount to nothing. You know, your ways and this and that. You know, when you tell a depressed person about their ways, you know, that demon, every time your actions, you're this and that. Let me tell you what you're feeding that demon. You are the demon, and I'll step back going, woo, woo, this is so easy. This is so easy. Let them do it. Because luckily, the one thing I could be grateful for is this. God taught me how to fight. Doesn't mean I don't love my family. Doesn't mean I don't love my kids. Doesn't mean I don't love my sisters that are still alive. I just don't know how to relate to them. I don't really know them. What do we talk about? Because everything from a child is gone. It doesn't exist. It's a memory in a Hallmark movie. Because they're not the same. I'm not the same anymore. People hated me when I was a sinner. People dislike me even more than I'm a Christian. You know what it's like when people tell you all this stuff, Dad, it's your fault, or it's your fault. You're grouchy, you're this and that. But what people don't see is the crying, that the battling of what I'm dealing with. I can battle pain, but sometimes the voices I can't. Sometimes it becomes overwhelming, and you got to look at it going, man, the worst demon is the one where you just sit there and go, look at this, man. Everybody, you are nothing but problems to everybody. And I actually snapped the other day. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. No matter what I do, it's wrong. No matter what I say, it's wrong. And you start thinking about your past. Whew. Man, I'm going to go over there, get me that bottle, and I'm just going to sit down. I'm just going to have a few drinks. It's going to hurt. Nothing. Maybe it'll get me to relax. Maybe it'll get me to go to sleep. No, I did not do this. But I'm saying this is my thoughts. Then all of a sudden, bam, no, I'm not doing it. Do you know what it's like to be in pain all day long? Mentally, physically, exhaustion, don't want to eat, you can't sleep, your head hurts all the time, your body hurts, you can't sit, you go numb, you fall down, you hit your head. I'm so sick and tired of hitting my head. Where I start praying, God, just take me. I can't do this anymore. Take me. Times that I sit there and go over a bridge and I just look at it going, you know what keeps me from not jumping off a bridge? Seriously. And I know it's funny. You might even laugh, but it's okay. My thing is, I don't want to fall over that bridge because it's not guaranteed I'm going to die. You may say, Nelson, come on, man. Oh no, it's not nothing guaranteed. I could be paralyzed the rest of my life, and then I'm going to have to replay why I did something that stupid. Not a guarantee. You know why I don't bet on horses? Because it's not guaranteed. You know why I don't bet on Satan? Because it's a losing bet. I lose myself to hell. I bet on Jesus. Because it's the only truth. The only thing I need. Because my utilities are paid, food on my table, I have clean clothes, I have a bed that sometimes I do get to sleep in it. I remember it. I like it. I just want to go crawl in it right now. I don't know what it's like to walk normal. My left foot is totally now like this. If this is my body, my foot comes all the way. This is my leg, I'm sorry. And this is that. My foot's about an angle like that. My right leg is straight. See the difference? And I think if that foot and that bottom part from my knee down wasn't turned that way, I wouldn't be able to walk. I'm convinced of it. And then you hear all this nonsense going, well, according to the results from the ER, they're saying you have bruising on there. That's why this is happening. Well, let me explain something. Yes, that happened on December 20th, 2024. I got MRIs in 2025 that shows the disc, shows everything. So how do you people? I'm telling you, I think these doctors and stuff think you're the most ignorant thing on this earth. If I got torn stuff in my knees and torn stuff in my hips and shot hips and I got discs that are dislocated and shot that needs to be replaced. Can somebody tell me how in the world this makes sense to try to make somebody do therapy? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like if I told you guys to stand there and put your finger on the Hoover Dam, and I'd be back in a year. But you see the thing cracking. Are you going to stay there until I come back? You gave me your word now. You're not going to move. Yes, Nelson, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stand here. And then you sit there for about an hour, and you're going, this sucks, because the thing's all up here, so you're reaching high above your head, all the way up, and you're reaching. And then all of a sudden you're like, I can't move my finger. Maybe if I put the, well, no, it's going to start leaking. What if I move my finger and it comes loose, and then all the water comes out, and I blew up the dam, and it's my fault? Well, first of all, ain't nobody going to be able to say anything to you, because you're going to die. Are you going to die, or are you going to be risen? When I hear people say, when I die, well, I'm going to walk this way. What do you mean, Nelson? Well, no. If you're going to die, then you got demons, and then I don't want to be around you. Because you can't say that you fall a saint and you don't have demons. Can't say it. It's impossible. Where does your thoughts come from? Are they good thoughts? Are they bad thoughts? Does it lead you into darkness, or does it leave you into peace? That's how you know you're following God or Jesus. I mean, God, Jesus, or Satan and Lucifer. It's that simple. But you got to understand something here. No matter what we do, no matter where we are, it's up to us to stand firm. It's up to us. Yep, I see you here, Brandon. You know, and it's amazing. Here's what makes me amazing. And I actually wrote this down. I wrote down 3 things that over the last month I've been watching people jump on and off. And that's why I turned the comments and stuff off for a while, just so I could focus on what's going on. And every time I bring up the health issue, but you know what's sad about it is? You're not abandoning me. Your own health is probably the one. And I mean your spiritual health. Your spiritual meter is so low, you're losing yourself. And a part of the reason why you come on here, because it makes sense the way that I put it. I can tell you, you can go to the pastor of all pastors. And have you ever lived in a demonic realm, pastor? Have you ever seen a bad day? No, I will. Oh no, I got a loving family. I got the best life ever. I grew up in a loving home. I got the leave it to beaver lifestyle here. And my day, every day is a Hallmark day. And then you have a guy like me standing there going, please, how are you standing up there preaching then? Because they know the word. They never had to live it. It doesn't sink to them. I've always gone after somebody that I know that has been through it. I don't need no doctor. Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, let me put it a different way. Thank you, Lord. That's better. That's better. All right. Say you had a heart attack, and they're rushing you to the hospital, and you pull in, and they take you into the delivery room where women have babies. Okay, they'll be right with you. Don't worry. And you're having a heart attack, and you're thinking in your head, going, "I'm going to die. I'm in the delivery room. I'm a man. I am not having a baby." What are they thinking? Well, what are you thinking? You don't go to be fixed in Satan's paradise here. God's the only one. Jesus does it through the power and the glory of God. God, when he poured his spirit into there and said, "Here, all nations are yours, son." All nations. When this new kingdom's lowered down, there is going to be no hell. There's going to be no saint. There's going to be no robberies. There's going to be no pain, no suffering. There's going to be glory, and there's going to be peace the rest of your life. Some of you are going to be in hell. The majority of you are going to be in hell. The majority of whoever watches this, you're just fooling yourselves. Because let's just say the 23rd of this month, bang, the sky's open. Jesus standing there on that horse, or sitting on the horse, or whatever, among the clouds, the angels and stuff behind it, and all of a sudden the names are being called one by one by one by one. It's going to happen so fast, Sally, Jimmy, George, I can't even say it fast enough. Some of you might be able to speak even faster. Let's just say you wrote down 10 names and everybody had to speak it as fast as you could. Okay, are you with me? That's how fast it's going to be. A blink of an eye is not even fast enough. That's how fast the names are going to be rambled off there. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know about you, but when the saints come marching in, I want to be part of that number. You ever think about that song? But instead, when the going gets tough, the tough runs. You ever notice that bully? The one that bullies everybody, sits there and his minions come behind, and then they fight the fights? I had a bully do that to me once. 7th grade. Billington, West Virginia. Wait till the gym coach walked out, and gym teacher, whatever you want to call him, and he would hit us with stuff. He tried to flush our heads in toilets. He tripped me. He would throw food at me at lunchtime. I mean, it was just rotten. The guy was rotten. And finally, I just had enough. I had enough. And he had like most of the time one guy, and he was a bigger guy. And I never forget him because his last name was the same as my grandfather's. That's why I'll never forget him. His name was Daniel Anderson. And I always wondered one day if he was going to come across these videos and go, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Poor kid. And I tripped him and tore my sweatpants, because it wasn't even really sweatpants. It was like this funky material that it, like, when you fell and it would like burn it. It would like make like a burn thing on it. It was like polyester, I think, maybe, or something. I don't know. But it was the worst material ever. But we had to have a pair of sweatpants. Okay. And I remember the day when I just said, I've had enough. I didn't go after Daniel. And he's the one that always was the mean one. But I knew if I went after his peon, I just know he was a bigger guy, had black color hair. But if I went after him, I didn't have to worry about Danny anymore. I didn't have to worry about him. You know why I didn't have to worry about him no more? Because chances is, whatever the outcome of that was, even if I lost, that guy that he had around him was probably the one that he was hoping that would never lose. Until you stand up against it, you've always lost. I just had enough. And I've been like that. Crowds of fight. Biggest thing, I remember walking into this fight one night, I said, who's the baddest person you guys are all afraid of? Right over there. And I walked right up at him, and I didn't even say a word. I just swung. And we went at it. I walked out, turned around, walked out, and one by one, they started getting in their cars. Does it make me the baddest person on the planet? No. Nope. I'm not even trying to say that. I'm just saying, when you face the devil himself, you can defeat him. But you run scared. That's the problem. We're not giving God the credit that he deserves. We're not giving him the glory that he deserves. He sent his son to die on a cross, and it still ain't good enough for people. It still is not good enough. Because you run at the sound of something that doesn't sound, or, oh my gosh, where are they going to get? If I don't hear it, then I won't have to be feeling bad. Let me tell you right now, and I mean this in a loving, caring way. I remember when it was brought up to me to do the GoFundMe thing. And let me tell you something right now. The person said, don't be upset. I'm not upset. You know why? You know why I'm doing it? To prove a point. My own family come against it. And that's something. Why I said I would, if it wasn't for Darlene right now, I'd be alone. And there's days I can barely make it. But I tell you one thing, I'm not afraid of death because I don't believe in death. But I will rise up one day. If September comes and the skies open up and people are called home, I already got me a bag packed. I truly do. I got my backpack in there, got it all packed, got my survival stuff in there, I got the stuff I need. I'm heading to I'm heading to New York. And I'm just gonna wait for that water to come flying in. I'm gonna wait for that car to hit the side of the building under the water. I'm gonna go in there, grab the little girl, and I'm just gonna tell the lady, give me 3 seconds. And I'm gonna take the rope that I'm gonna have in my hand. I'm gonna strap her to this pole thing on the side of the building, going back and getting the mama, and we're going up the building. We're gonna break the window, and I'm gonna get them in there. We're going up to the top where them other people are, and then I'm gonna take this fire hose and throw it out the windows until I break the window down below, and then I'm gonna get us out of this mess. And we're gonna go on our way to the caves. And I guess I'm going to have to journey around the different places and gather different people. But it's the people that probably shouldn't have been left here, but they were too busy playing in the fields instead of taking the warnings. So God's giving you a second chance that you're not going to have to starve, that you're not going to have to be beheaded. When you prove, He will remove you. Sounds crazy, don't it? Sounds like a really good movie that you probably would want to watch. I know I would. I watched it too many times. I overplay it over and over. Matter of fact, the one time there's a spot in there where I go under the water. And I'll tell you this real quick, and I'll tell you about the Florida thing that happened to me in Florida. And today, I've never been feared of water ever in my life. But let me tell you how Satan works. Let me tell you this, because this Florida thing, let me tell you the Florida thing first. This happened before these visions started happening about New York and all this stuff and bringing these people. Now, granted, that same rope I'm talking about, I tie these loop things around it and wrap a rope around the other people, and we thread that long rope in between there. They just basically you run the rope through, loop it back around, and then tight it tight. Let me tell you, Florida. I had this dream. Then it became like reality. So I was like, I went from a dream into a vision, and all of a sudden it was low tide. So I mean, you're way out there in low tide. I mean, you're beyond the piers. Okay. And I'm out there and I'm running around and I'm having fun, and all of a sudden I see the skies turn to this funny color, and I'm like, my feet were like doing this on the sand because I'm out there ways in this ocean, people. I mean, it's way out there. And I'm feeling this. The next thing I know, I look up, I turn, and I see this water come rising up, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I remember yelling for people to run. And I'm looking up at the water coming on the one side, and it's like this waves coming like from this angle like this, but the waves coming higher and higher and higher as it's going towards where we're standing. And I looked at these two girls that get swept up in these trees, and I'm looking up at them going, oh, they don't stand a chance. And I look back and I see this tidal wave just come down over top of me. It just swooshed me up backwards where my legs went from behind me, and it just spun me like this, like head over heels, basically. Boom, 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 underwater. This, may God strike my tongue if I'm not telling the truth. Stop me from saying another word. I'm telling you right now, I woke up out of that dream going like this, and there's sand and water, salt water in my mouth. See what happens? And then we got in the boat with a friend of mine that I worked with. We got in the boat and he took us out there into the. I mean, it was not like a big boat. I mean, it was a good sized boat. We go out into the choppy part of the ocean and it's just beating this boat all over the place. He jumps out and he's playing around and I'm freaking out. I'm going, I just, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here right now. And he's under the boat doing all this goofy stuff. And I'm thinking, I just got to get, now I'm getting anxiety. I'm having a panic. So we finally get to this little offshore, little island like thing. And we got out and walked around a little bit. I think he did that to calm down the nerves and the seasickness and all the stuff that started happening. You know, I never went back in that boat again. When I walk in the water on the beach line, I only go so far. I know you may say, well, just pray to God. I have. But the weird thing about it is when that New York stuff happened, I believe Satan was trying to stop me from getting in that water. But it doesn't. I just dive right in. As soon as I see that car coming by and then starting to sink, and I visualize that little girl in the back seat, I can just see her staring at me. That is what makes me go in that water. That alone. Fear is only what we allow in our lives. What we give God today is God's. If we give him nothing, we've done nothing. We wake up with no purpose. How many of you wake up in the morning going, I don't even know what I'm going to do today? How many of you wake up and just hope that a friend of yours calls or somebody wants to come hang out? How many of you wake up and go, I don't want to deal with my family, it's the weekend? I was that way. I have a hard problem believing anything anymore. But I believe God, and I believe Jesus, and I believe everything happens for a purpose, plan, and a reason of beyond our time. I believe God's time is higher than ours. Seriously, it's higher than ours. It's a time that we will never understand. It's a time that you will never even think about when you're in heaven. But it is a time you will think about in hell. Because you're going to wish there was a time limit. It's never going to come. You're going to live that life every day. It's up to you. Choice is yours. There's too many signs. Christ is coming. You still have today. He hasn't came yet. Heavenly Father, I thank you for giving me the wisdom, giving me the knowledge of things, and I thank you for see. And I thank you for giving me the ability to be able to put these things in words. Whether one person shows or no people show, I'm still going to become on here. I don't go on here and announce these shows. I just put them on. You lead the sheep that needs to come. Father, I would do my best to uphold and keep your word and to keep all things that you speak, whether people understand it or don't. But I know this. I promise you to give you my full flesh, my full obedience is devoted to you. And under your Son's authority and his blood over me, I ask for these things. I ask for this wisdom and this knowledge. I ask for the understanding of the things that I don't know. I ask for this wisdom. And I ask for the abilities when I don't have the words that you quickly come and feed the words to me. Let all things be done to glorify you, that glorifies your Son. Let me glorify your Son that glorifies you. Let this be done to be in your presence of this day. Lord, I can't thank you enough for being in the midst of this conversation today. I can't thank you for putting the right people in place. And hopefully these people that are falling or feel lost or feel drowning or feel like they don't matter to this world, these videos aren't for that. It's an encouragement to give you hope. If you can, Lord, go to the Father on my behalf and find forgiveness, unless it's blasphemy of the totally of against the Spirit, our signatures in blood, it's you pretty much wrote your own path line. And I'm not saying that the Father is incapable. His will, his power, his authority, he has the rights to overdo any or overturn anything. But chances is, if we cannot praise and worship him now, it's not going to happen. So, Lord, I just hope for spiritual eyes to be open. I ask for spiritual hearing. Let all things be seen and heard in their lives today, and let them decide what is truly, truly going to be the best for them. So we surrender it all to you, Lord. We lift this day into your hands. In your most precious, holy, glorious name. Amen. All right, guys, I'm going to break down through the comments one more time, and hopefully I can go lay down for a little bit. Maybe I can. Yeah, spot. Hey, I don't do anything for profit, honestly. And my thing is uh even going into this doctor, this and what are they going to do? I can barely I can barely even squat half the time. I mean, if I walk from here, if you knew the length of my house, I mean, it's not very long, but to go from here to the end of my driveway, I, I I'm literally huffing and puffing and breathing just trying to make it back. I mean, it's crazy. I know you do, brother. Just only thing I'm asking, maybe Monday. So I'll send you a thing on Messenger Monday, and we'll see where we can hook something up. But I tell you this, I never break my word. But if it doesn't happen in the beginning of it somewhere, don't think that I'm not getting you. If I don't send you a message Monday, I'm still trying to figure out what's gonna work best. That I'm that, and it probably will be on a day that I wake up with enough ability to have more common sense, I guess, to be able to focus more than giving you like what even right now in these videos. I'm only shooting out about 20%. So if I'm only shooting out by 20%, you deserve more than that. You deserve that 100%. It's close I can get to it. Like the other day, I probably should have called you, but I got tied up in something else. And that's God. That's how God works. Doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that God has forsaken you. I mean, sometimes we got to suffer. Jesus suffered a lot before he went to that cross, and he suffered then. So sometimes the suffering makes us stronger. Sometimes the suffering helps us not. Addictions, if you were addicted to something and you didn't go through withdrawals, you didn't learn anything. That's true. You didn't learn nothing because it was too easy. God just took everything out of our lives, we would keep doing it if it was too easy. So, either way, by Wednesday, if you haven't heard from me, shoot me a message, and because honestly, there's days that matter of fact, here, because I'm always down here. I'm looking at this week. Right there. Today's the 6th. 9, 6, 25. This is what my life's come to. There's so many people. I had a person that I was supposed to do a Zoom and I forgot. I did. I literally forgot. And I sent them a message. They told me that I was fake, and I don't care. It's all words. And if I die, then my blood's on their hand. I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You talk from a demon that's not even a smart demon. You let a demon talk through you. That's not even correct. Because I say that because I guess I'm not that I'm not that demon. I mean, I'm not that person that I'm not in kindergarten anymore. I'm graduating high school. So for a demon to talk stupid like that, that is stupid. That's the dumbest thing. It's like um, Jabba the Hutt. I guess I'll use Star Wars. Jabba the Hutt. Your Jedi mind tricks don't do nothing for me. Or when he said in there when that I don't know what that guy's name is now. That thing comes in. He's using the Jedi mind trick. Basically, you're a fool. Because you're allowing evil to overtake you. If you're allowing evil to overtake you, where do you think you're going to go? I mean, really, what do you think's going to happen? You walk down dark pathways and you get stuck in them. And if you're stuck in them dark pathways, how are you ever going to see the light of Christ? You can't because you're focused on what's in front of you. It's always been there. Those problems have always been in your life. You just think they're gone and you think you're strong enough. We're not strong enough without Christ. We're not able to do anything without Christ. So let me start closing this down. All right. All right, guys. Love you. To the next one, and I trust you. I'm probably going to come on tonight because I'm already not feeling like I'm going to be able to sleep. But I want to finish that broken message that the Lord gave me, and it's something. I'm telling you. You know, the world is more broken than what we know. I gotta put the glasses back on to see what I was doing. Crazy. Jesus loves us.